Thanks for listening to Mike Douglas, Michigan's retirement coach.
We're going to be taking some advice from a billionaire today. And the lesson learning, invest in yourself.
Yep.
This is I guess is that the end? Are we Tarantinoing this podcast? It is starting with the end.
Start at the end.
So the lesson here is invest in yourself. Take your own ownership. All right, let's go back. This is certified financial planner Mike Douglas, a.k.a. Michigan's retirement coach. I'm Heather Branch, here to ask Mike for his ideas on ways you can better prepare for your financial future. Specifically today, talking about investing in ourselves and taking ownership. As you're listening, as you're watching, if you've got questions for Mike, michigansretirementcoach.com is our website and where you can go to start your own conversation with Mike and his team. You also have links posted in the show notes. So we're going to fangirl. You were saying how you picked this podcast subject, especially for me today, because I am
especially for you,
Sarah Blakely super fan. That's me. I don't mind saying so. And listen,
when you refer to her on a first name basis, be like, "Well, Sarah said this." I'm like, "Yeah." Were you guys talking on the Instagram? I saw it.
I saw
Sarah,
one time when
Sarah
she posted.
said,
I saw when she was posting about this thing. She's
and I'm not just throwing shade because
strong friend in my head.
Samesies.
Right.
I'm the same with her and Jesse, her husband.
Her husband, Jesse. It's like he's friending your head.
Any content he puts out, I'm like, what's he saying? What's he saying? And I love it.
Talk about a power couple.
And like independently powerful and then really powerful together.
I mean, the things that they're doing. It's
hyper supportive.
So amazing. The two of them.
Yeah.
Marriage goals, business goals, life goals. I don't mind saying that I'm a Sarah Blakely super fan because, I mean, yes, obviously, role model number one to look up to. Why would I not? If for any gentleman listening, watching this podcast, you might, who's Sarah Blakely? What? Because I feel like a lot of men probably don't realize. If you ask a woman, Sarah Blakely, they're going to be like, that's my best friend. Because Sarah Blakely is the inventor of Spanx, the women's shapewear product line. And it's now much more than just the one initial Spanx leggings. I won't bore you with the details of it that she first invented. Now it's a whole brand with clothing and everything. So Sarah Blakely is a billionaire and on paper and by the bank. She's 54 years old. She sold her company 4 years ago now for $1.2 billion.
Yeah.
And she was on a podcast herself. She was on the School of Hard Knocks podcast talking about how she did this and that she did it all without taking money from anyone else. She did not have other investors. Here is Sarah Blakely.
It was so easy for me to get investors. You know why? I'm the only investor. I never had a single investor in Spanx other than me. I'm serious. I started it with $5,000 from selling fax machines and self-funded the entire 21 years. So it was really easy to get an investor. I sat down with myself and I was like, do you want to spend your $5,000 on a vacation or do you want to try to bet on yourself? And I bet on myself.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with spending a little money taking a vacation when you need it.
Right.
I do love the conversation of the idea of, hey, me, how about giving money to me? All right, me, no problem. Let's do this.
Well, I think that's the engaging part of Sarah is that it's like when you just heard her talk, you're not hearing a shark talk. You're hearing like a regular person just like, oh, I was thinking about this. Like I should just do this. Mm-hmm. But she's a shark. She's a dog. She's a killer. She's really, really astute and really, really solid.
Yeah.
Um,
And the whole idea here of just, no, I'll just throw this in here and just go make something of it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. She is, her confidence is, I envy it as well. The perspective of her perspective on money and building her own investment strategy into herself, because she didn't take investors. She took ownership of her business, herself, her life. So how can we translate this mentality into our retirement planning, into our own selves? How do you help somebody do that?
Well, there's a couple of things that I think were interesting because I've heard her speak a couple times. And one of the things she said was that she never actually invested in a 401k plan because she said the more I kept investing in my company, I kept getting like a 20% growth year over year. Mm-hmm. And I understood this and I didn't understand that. So I just kept investing where I understood, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
She goes, I don't understand the stock market, but I understand how to move women's products and what women want and how to invest, how to get them to invest in our company.
Yep.
So I think that's kind of whenever you're selling anything, you are getting someone to invest in you, in your company. Mm-hmm. And so she knew who she was. and she knew who she wasn't. I am not comfortable with this. I am very comfortable with this. And it's ironic. It's more risky to do what she did, in my opinion, than to invest in the stock market. I think it's more risky. Why? Because you're betting that you know well enough to build a monster company. And she did. Where typically you'd say you throw in the market, you diversify across 500 companies all making money, and you can make more stable returns. But I love it. I think the fact that she knows who she is, and she says, I can't control the stock market, but I can control how hard I work and what I turn this company into. So one of the things we always talk about with clients is control what you can control.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't control the stock market. I can't control the government. I can't control politics and international affairs and all these things. I can control my contributions. I can control my risk profile. I can control how I do those things. So that's one amazing thing she did. Was she said, I'm going to control what I can control.
Okay.
If I keep working, if I keep investing, if I keep just throwing money back in and don't live off of it, but really try to build something, then I can make something worth having. I think that's really cool. And not enough people give her credit for that because they're like, oh, well, she created this. No, it's not that she created this clothing line. It's the fact that she was going through law school and I think she failed the LSAT. She's brilliant, but couldn't test well.
That's right. Which happens to a lot of brilliant people. Yeah. It's
like a test anxiety, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, so she's like, she understood it, did all stuff, had test struggles. And then her dad is also really successful lawyer. And she was going through and just having frustrations. And finally was like, no, I'm going to get into business and not do this law thing. And then as she was building it, that's when she kind of came to this crux, this road at some point of, should I take money to grow this thing faster or just do it on my own? And even in talking to her dad, who had money to lend her, his advice was, no. She
went to him for
smart.
the initial investment for her to create Spanx. I think, isn't that the story?
Correct.
She went to him and said, Dad, can I borrow $5,000?
Oh, no.
And he was
she
like,
got an
no.
order. She got an order. That's what it was. I believe she was doing something, got an order. She needed money to fulfill the order.
And he said,
so then she didn't
no,
want
I'm
to go
not
to the
lending you
bank.
money. Yeah.
And she was like, she goes, no, don't come to me. Do it yourself.
Yep.
Which is brilliant advice because he saw in her what I think she kind of saw in her.
Yeah.
And he said specifically that way you can never say that I got a handout from my dad, right? That's kind of the whole thing. But either way, she knows who she is. She took control and she invested in the things that matter most to her.
Yeah.
Which was her company.
Okay.
As you go through phases of life, we invest in what matters most to us. So sometimes we invest in the market to grow and to build and to scale and to do this whole thing. So I have to turn $100 into $1 million so I can retire someday. And so that's the phase of life you're in. And we're doing that. We're pushing and growing. And then as you go into retirement, what matters most to you is different. It's not about growing and scaling. It's about preserving and distributing and living off the money and using it for retirement. So just understanding that at this phase of life, what is most important to me? And she has always really done that, I think, exceptionally well. Whether it's balancing out, and again, I know it's going to sound like a fanboy, fangirl podcast, right? But it's just the reality, right? When we're looking at success, success leaves clues.
Yeah.
Success isn't an accident. She didn't stumble into $1.2 billion. She worked her tail off, but also has 4 kids, a husband, is engaged in their processes, engaged in their life, engaged in travel and trips and all these things. Because she has this hyper-driven business mind, and then she has this husband who is serial entrepreneur, always doing something new. And I love the dichotomy there because Jesse Itzler is brilliant on creating new and ideas. He's an idea guy. He does something new, partners with somebody, launches it. Something new, partners, launches. Something new, partners, all the time. And she is not. She is, I'm going to do this one thing.
Yeah.
One thing. And it's 20 years in it's that overnight success that just only took 20 years, you know? And it took the $5,000 from selling fax machines. So she knows who she is, and she stayed in her lane and did her job, which was to invest in herself and grow this machine. And she had great success from that. At this phase of life, why didn't she keep doing it? Well, one, when someone offers you $1.2 billion, I think you almost always take it. But also, she's got the other things she's doing now. Now the big one is a sneaker company. I see that all the time. She created a sneaker company now, and women love it.
Sneaks.
And it's like it's
a
sneaks.
high heel. It's not a sneaker company.
Yeah.
It's a high heel, but
See,
it's women's shoes.
I think when I heard sneaks, I'm like, oh, it's sneakers. Well, there you go. So again, she knows her demo. She knows her target, right?
Yeah.
She also didn't say like, hey, I'm going to start going making men's shoes.
Nope.
She goes, I know
Her
women.
goal is she's always looking for solutions for women. So she Spanx because we needed shapewear that wasn't our grandmother's corsets. The sneak is her new mission is I want to create a comfortable high heel.
Yeah. And so she knows who she is. She knows her market, knows her audience, and does that. In retirement, know who you are, know what you're trying to accomplish, and know who you want to be. If you want to be a risky investor, that's okay, but understand how it affects your portfolio and your income and all those things. I just think more and more, we just have to stay who we are, stop chasing headlines, stop chasing ideas. And when you're in retirement, it is not the time to just freestyle it. You want to have a good plan, a plan that says, here's how I get income every month the rest of my life. Here's how much I'm going to pay in taxes, and here's how I reduce that number. Here's how my investments need to be structured to get me the best return against my risk. From an insurance and risk management standpoint, am I having the right coverages, Medicare, all the different insurances we have? Do I need some type of life insurance or annuity to cover some pieces of my life? And then lastly, do I have a good estate plan? Those 5 areas, that is what you need to be investing into in retirement. And it's different than what it looks like when you're 30 or 40 or 50. So just knowing who you are, know what this phase of life looks like, and have a 5-fold plan that covers all those things. That way you don't have to worry when the market's up or down. You just stay retired. And I think that's a good place to be.
Yes. But knowing who you are. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like so many people get to the point where they're ready to retire. They start getting into their 50s. They start getting into their 60s. For the first time, though, they are entering a space where many don't know who they are. They don't know what they want because they have spent the last 2, 3, 4 decades raising their children, working at their job, saving, working at their marriage, being good church people, whatever it is that they're prioritizing in their lives. And now it's time to retire. And their kids are going out on their own. You know, maybe a spouse gets sick. Sometimes, gray divorce has been on the rise. What if the marriage falls apart? You're leaving a career behind that maybe you majorly identify, particularly with men. They majorly identify with their jobs for this many decades. So for somebody who's at this place to say, know who you are, know what you want, a lot of people don't, Mike.
Right. And that's the discussion that you have to have. Like, what does life look like? We have this thing, like when we go on vacation, if we have a vacation where we're doing a lot of stuff, I really enjoy it. Like when we went to Europe this past summer, and we had some great friends who booked up, Damon and Danielle. They went through and they kind of mapped out like, hey, here's what we should do every day. Like in a good way. Like, hey, we're going to Europe. We're going to go and we're on a cruise. So we're hitting these different places. Let's stay busy. And so through the whole trip, I loved it. We were coming and going and hitting we saw everything we could possibly see.
Yeah.
And then I had a whole flight home to recover from it. Right.
Yeah.
And I never once thought, man, I got to hurry up and get home. Like it was a really good trip. When we sometimes will take the kids or we'll go to like some place where you sit on a beach all day.
Yep.
Right. And some people love that. Kimberly loves it. The kids love it. If we just go to the Dominican and we sit on a beach, I am super excited for 3 or 4 days. It's so beautiful. It's so relaxing.
Yeah.
And then on day 5, I'm like,
I have so many things that I could be doing right now.
You just want to go sit by the water again? Like, I don't get it. We just did that yesterday.
Yep.
And so I start getting itchy to get back to work and get some purpose back and get some drive going. In the same way, a lot of people, when they retire, they enjoy it for a month or 2, and then they start getting the itch to get purpose and drive. Yep. And sometimes you fulfill it by hobby. Like I know my dad, he says when he retires here in about a month and a half, he's going to get into woodworking. And so we've been buying him woodworking gifts for the last 3 years. Every Christmas, he gets something related to woodworking from us. Okay. That way he's got these things to do when he's retired.
That's smart.
Other people volunteer, give their time back, serve, babysit their grandkids, whatever it is. Just start thinking in advance. What do I want to do to give myself that purpose? Don't come home and start rearranging the kitchen, because the person who was at home managing the kitchen will not like that. I had that with some clients where one guy was an engineer, quality control. Actually, he did a lot of quality control stuff for GM. Yeah. And his wife stayed home. Then he retired and started doing quality control at home. It was not well received. He starts saying the Tupperware shouldn't be over here. It should be in this drawer. So she comes in to do some cooking and stuff, and nothing's where it's supposed to be, because unbeknownst to her, he had rearranged the entire kitchen for quality control. And that was not
Speaking of grade divorce.
Yeah. And about a week later, he had a part-time job at a bike shop.
Yeah, he did.
fixing bikes. Like that's what. So she's like, go do something.
Get out of this house.
Go fix something that's not mine. And I think that's a thing. Like, what do you want to do? How do you want to live life? What's going to give you purpose? What's going to wake you up in the morning?
Yeah.
And do those things. And that starts with the conversation a lot of times. Having someone who has walked through retirement over and over again.
Yeah.
Ask you those questions is a great place to start. A lot of times you don't even know what to ask yourself or what to think about.
Yeah.
You retire once, we retire people every day.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a great way to do it. So whether it's, commenting down below or reaching out to us at michigansretirementcoach.com or whatever, just get a hold of us and we will help you understand those questions to ask yourself. So you retire to something, not just from something.
Yeah. It's a big change. It's understandable if it feels overwhelming or intimidating. To some people, they're just like, I just don't want to do it because nobody likes change. However, your retirement is something that you've earned. You don't want to look at it as a closure to something. You want to look at it as a start to something new, hopefully new things that are exciting for you. And this is what Mike and his team, they help people figure out every day. Mike, something you talk about all the time is that a retirement plan is so much bigger than just the money. The money is a tool in your retirement plan toolbox, but the lifestyle factors, and to your point, you're helping folks every single day in the office go through these conversations, ask the questions they don't even realize to ask. So if you are seeking out some help and some guidance in this space on how to invest in yourself, how to empower yourself and take control, take ownership of your retirement, Mike and his team, they're here to help. MichigansRetirementCoach.com is our website and where you can head to start the conversation. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit MichigansRetirementCoach.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.